What's up, family? It's your boy Crazy 50 God in the building. About to drop a quick value for you guys in a few minutes. Let's get it. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. So, let's get it. Let's get it. So, today's topic is actually going to be: it's a certain outcome when you include God, and it's a certain outcome when you don't include God, right? So, let's dive into this, right? So, on a day-to-day basis, right, we have an opportunity to include God in whatever we do, and we have a choice not to include God whatever we do, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather God with me with everything that I'm doing, right? Because I know if God is with me with everything that I'm doing, then there's more trust, there's more of a guide, there's more protection in that relationship, in that doing with Him. But the moment where I don't have God is where things get scary. If I don't include Him in certain things, I get a different outcome. And it's the opposite outcome of what I want, right? It's the opposite outcome of what I want, right? So I'm making an intention from everything that I do, even this video, like I want to do it with God. I want to do it in the power and strength of God, right? And that's what I'm doing with everything. Every single little thing that I do, I include God in it because I want Him to be a part of it, right? Because it's a team based effort, right? He does his part and I do my part. This is like a business, right? A partnership, right? A partnership to the kingdom. And you guys have that option too. You guys have that option to actually, include God in everything that you do. You don't have to leave Him out. You don't have to edge Him out. You don't have to hit the ego button and edge God out, right? He's right there guiding you every step of the way. And I'd rather do stuff with God than to do stuff by myself or with a negative energy, right? And I noticed that, like, I was looking for a place to stay, right? And I felt like I was just doing things at the last minute, but I was not including God to direct my steps, right? And I got a different outcome. I was in places where I didn't want to be. I was around negative energy that didn't serve me any good, that wasn't conducive to my growth. So, and I asked myself, like, why did this happen? Right? Why did this happen? And it draws back to me not including God and looking for a place, right? I didn't include Him. I just did things on my own strength, and I pushed forward like that. And the result of that is just being around toxic people, right? That was not conducive to my growth, right? I was around toxic people that was not conducive to my growth, right? I offered them, the great value that God has given me. I was spreading the word, being the light, right? If they don't receive you, they didn't receive me. So I'm like, okay, it's time to move. If they don't receive you, it's time to wash your feet and shake your feet up at the door and just keep it pushing. Meaning, just leave, right? Humbly and respectfully. If they don't receive you, just leave, find another spot, right? And that I say that to tell you guys, if people don't receive you and they're just tolerating you, I mean, and they're not celebrating and they're just tolerating you, I feel like that's the time to close that door. It's time to be around new people. So now I'm setting a positive intention to be around positive people, right? God, help me to be around only positive people. If I can't bring a negative person up, then they're gonna have to stay where they are. If they're not willing to like get out of that darkness and they don't receive the light, they don't receive the word of God, it's time to cut that cord. Because if you don't cut that, what happens is you get dragged down to their level of excellence, right? Their level of excellence, and it's mediocre. right? It's mediocre. It's not judging them, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth, and we got to be mindful of our energy. Our energy is everything. Our energy is so valuable. You're created in God's image. You're God's highest form of creation, right? We're not made to sit in misery, negativity. We're not made for none of that. Sometimes that stuff does help us grow, but it's not all negativity doesn't help you grow, but some afflictions help you grow, but some don't. Some are just there to pull you down and destroy you, and to still kill and destroy, like the enemy, right? Still kill and destroy you. So we got to be mindful of protecting our energy, including God, in everything that we do, right? Whether it's looking for places to stay, whether it is you looking for a new job, we got to include Him, right? We got to be like, God, I invite you in. Show me the way. Help me to be around more positive people. Protect me. Protect my energy. Protect my mindset. Protect me from making wrong decisions. Right? This is big, right? And then you got to include him in, and then you got to let him do his part, and you do your part, right? I remember I was that person that was doing my part and trying to do God's part. It doesn't work like that. You'll get drained and you'll get frustrated, right? You gotta let him do his part. It's okay to do your part, or kind of overly do your part, but then we also have to give room for God, right? You could put as much work as you want in. You can do as much as you want, but then you gotta still leave room for God to do His part. The moment where we don't leave room for God to do His part, He says, "Okay, you got this. Go ahead, figure it out. Go ahead." While you're getting drained and depleted and just tired, go ahead, do your part. And if you do figure it out, I guarantee you, when you get to whatever you get going through or getting through, it will be a lot easier if you had God to direct your steps. Because that could also lead you in a place where God is not there, right? And when God is not there, then He has to come and rescue you and bring you out of that mess. And that's what happened with me. And I'm just sharing it to bring the light that you need to include God in everything that you're doing. Because it's a different outcome when you include God, and it's a different outcome when you don't include God. So I encourage you guys to include God more in every little thing that you do, whether no matter what it is. No matter what it is, it could be something small to start off with, and then over time you'll build the mindset, like the awareness of, oh, I gotta include God in this, I gotta include God in that, right? So now I'm just developing that mindset of always being aware of including God in everything that I do, because I was doing it, but I felt like since situation happened, I got to do it more. I'm doing it more. It gives me more awareness, right? It gives me more awareness, and I'm just striving to be around more positive people, because I see the effects of being around positive people, and then I could see the effects of being around negative people. I see it, right? The positive people, you can go high with them. Negative people, you go the opposite direction. And that's the honest truth. I'm trying to go high. I invested too much. I already pushed past the negative zone. I was there, don't get me wrong. Humbly and respectfully, I was there. I know what it feels like to be negative, right? I pushed past that. Now we here, right? We here with the positive. Now we got to get higher with the positive people, right? Remember, you are the company that you keep. If you're around 5 negative people, you will be the 6 negative people to get pulled down with their level of excellence, right? If you're around positive people, then you will be pulled up to their level of excellence. Pick your choice. Each choice has a result. Each choice has a consequence. Are you going to choose to be around the darkness, or are you going to choose to shine with the light? Right? We got to be aware of when we got to shine with the light. We can't just be in darkness. We got to be the light, right? You got to be the light. You got to be able to shine. You got to be able to shine your light, right? No matter what happens, people are going to, talk bad about you. It is what it is. right? We got to be able to shine. You got to be able to shine your light no matter what environment you're in. You got to be able to execute. You got to be able to be and vibrate what God has placed inside of you, right? And we also got to be aware of including God so we can get a different outcome. We got to include God so we can get a different outcome to everything that we're doing. If we don't have God and the outcome, right, in situations and circumstances, and if He's not there, you will be led astray. You will be led into something that could potentially harm you, right? That could potentially harm you. And then what happens is when you start to feel the harm, when you start to feel the trouble, the problem, now you got to call on God to help Him come rescue, right? So just want to bring that to like to you guys, a little word of wisdom. Um, so I just want to take a few minutes and leave you guys with this. If you guys don't start, including God in everything that you do, what would happen is you will be led astray, right? You would have to call on God, and that problem, that situation could potentially hurt you, right? That situation could potentially hurt you. So that's why I fear God, and I ask Him to be in everything that I'm doing, so that way everything can be safe and protected, right? And I'm doing this more often. I'm being more aware of I'm being more aware of including Him in everything that I do. It could be the littlest thing as tying my sneakers. I'm including Him because I want to set the intention of having God in my life and everything that I do, and setting that intention and being consistent with that intention, right? And being purpose driven, setting an intention to be purpose driven, right? Today, I'm setting an intention to include God, whatever I'm doing, even if at work, I'm setting an intention for Him to be there with me. And then I'm also setting an intention to be purpose driven. So everything that I do today, I have a purpose driven mindset behind it. So I'm not just, being led astray or just working out of, my will, right? I want to work out of God's will, right? The purpose driven men, and to be able to execute, right, on another level. And I want to take a few minutes, pray over you guys really quick. God, I ask that you could give them the awareness to be able to understand that we need you in everything that we do. And if we don't include you in everything that we do, we could be led astray in that problem situation, right, could potentially hinder us and cause us some type of harm spiritually. And, we put in too much work, God. So let us be aware of including you in everything that we do so we can get the outcome that you want for us and not the outcome the enemy wants for us when we don't include you. So with that being said, it's your boy Crazy Faith, the God in the building, on the way out. Hope you guys having a blessed and amazing, amazing, amazing Friday. Enjoy it and have a blessed one. Let's go.